Hello, welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's Johnny with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hi.
I might have sounded weird then, it's because I'm absolutely frozen solid.
It's not warm.
We're here with our scarves on. I'm tempted to put a glove on to hold this cold microphone.
Why not put two gloves on?
2 gloves, 1 hand. A variation on that filthy video.
Yeah. Or Michael Jackson.
Not Michael Jackson. He was 1 hand, 1 glove, famously.
Well, how do you know there wasn't another glove underneath that singular glove he's wearing?
That's true.
A liner glove.
It was a thin glove, though, wasn't it?
True, yeah,
Good
but
breath.
you might have had a latex one underneath there.
Was it fingerless?
No.
So it was 1 white glove.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Michael, that's weird.
Yeah. It's not the weirdest thing he's done.
Just fair comment. Fair comment.
He didn't have one glove on when he came to St James Park, did he?
But I wasn't there.
I don't think he always had the one glove. I think it was just like sometimes when people remembered it.
He did have an umbrella up, even though it was a normal summer's day.
Yeah, but surely that's a sort of parasol.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the beating sun, was it? I can't really remember.
I know, but his skin was like tracing paper.
It was like tracing paper. Yeah. Anyway, Exeter City get a win.
Yeah.
Hooray, against Carlisle. Relegation rivals Carlisle. Home
2-1.
2-1. Bosh.
That's it. We've turned the corner. Colwell for mayor.
Yeah, he's gone from having a mayor to being the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine him wearing all that mayor shit they have.
I mean, can't even put a jumper on to go to the pub. He's still got his tracksuit top on, you know.
Oh, I think he usually looks quite smart, doesn't he?
Well, not when he was taking the photos of him in the firehouse.
Yeah, but he might have had to go straight there or something.
Why did he have to go straight
He
there?
didn't have to, but he probably just did.
No. Got to take off your sportswear when you're going to meet someone in the pub. If I come straight from the gym to record a podcast, you wouldn't be impressed with that.
I would.
That's because I go to the gym a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what he did after this game, but he delighted with the win. I think we're all delighted with the win.
We're very happy with the win, obviously. That's the home form looking a bit better.
Yeah.
Performances looking a bit better. You know, it's not. It's not. I'm not like. I haven't completely changed my mind. In fact, I haven't really changed my mind at all. But I'm really pleased, and it's definite. There's definite improvement on how we were for the 100 days before.
Yeah.
But that was extremely low bar.
Yes.
So, I feel like we're kind of a couple of rungs up the performance ladder.
So the big news was Luke Harris, the oft talked about failed to get him over the line in September. He's finally joined us on loan, just for the rest of the season, I'm assuming.
That will be, yeah.
It's not a year or anything, is it?
Yeah, so that's finally happened.
He's the only signing so far.
What a weird situation where I think something to do with, what's his name, Paulinia, isn't it? It was going to go to Bayern at last minute and then he didn't.
That's right.
Wasn't he at the point where he'd even had the kit on?
Yeah, there's a photo of him. He was in Munich, wasn't he?
And they never got that over the line. And I think for Fulham, for whatever reason, were thinking that Harris would somehow have something to do with that. But I don't know why.
I suppose if you think like we need 6 midfielders at a time.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, he's here now.
He's in, yes.
And he's young and he looks old.
Does he?
He doesn't look 18.
He doesn't look old.
Well, he doesn't look 18. Have you seen the amazing photo of him being lent a car by Thrifty?
I have, yeah.
Zoom in on that handshake because that is not an equal handshake.
Well, they're doing Masonic handshake or something.
The guy from Thrifty is absolutely crushing an 18-year-old's hand.
He looks like a tiny child. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you referring to the fact that he's got a sort of slightly receding hairline already?
No, I just think he looks like he's world weary.
Okay. If you listen to his introduction interview, I would suggest that he's very much not.
No,
that.
No, he's excited to be here, I believe. The Thrifty. My other favourite thing is that Thrifty have given him a car for him and his dad. Does that mean his dad's got to drive it, or does that mean they've got 2 cars?
I don't know actually.
There's 2 cars in the photo, kind of.
Yeah, but from the photo it looks like the thrifty guy has come in the car by him.
Yes.
And he's and he's given the other one to Luke Harris. Is that definitely the guy from Thrifty? That's not Luke Harris's dad he's shaking hands with.
I recognise that guy from Thrifty. I could tell you his name if you were to ask me.
Oh, yeah? What's his name?
His name's Jonathan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. He's very nice. He's very good. Get excellent service from Jonathan at Thrifty.
Okay.
This isn't a paid for advert, by the way. That's just true.
Okay,
Which is,
right,
of course,
yeah.
the best kind of advert. Yeah, so I'm interested in that. But anyway, Harris came in straight into the starting
There
line.
you go, Warren. Bit of free advertising for you.
Just what you need.
Yeah, we're both taking a sip of our drink at the same time there.
Sorry, it's the
Very
cold.
unprofessional.
It's the cold that's got to us.
What are we talking about?
Luke Harris
Harris.
straight into the starting lineup.
Yeah,
Got a yellow card within seconds.
he did, and that might have slightly affected his performance, as it would, a kind of like combative attacking midfielder like he is. He looks good.
He does look good.
And
no denying it.
kind of it does make sense
Yeah.
in the kind of in improving our attack. You know, it really does. Like his movement's really good. He's always just. He didn't see a huge amount of the ball. Honestly, I mean, nearly scored with his first touch, or his very first touch was a shot. Linked up really well, but the main thing I was impressed with was that he's just constantly looking for space.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Who sings that? Looking for space. John Denver, is it him?
Could be.
Okay. Really good. Great, good on the ball. Obviously wants to shoot. He's not. I suppose he's different to Trevitt. We'll talk about him. He's gone. Definitely more attacking than that. Yeah, it looked good. Amerson looked a better player for.
Aitchison.
Sorry, not Amerson. He didn't play. Aitchison looked a better player for Harris being there.
Yeah.
And Cox.
Yeah.
And Rankin, and that while that's extremely, that's quite a pretty young selection of forwards.
Yeah,
I thought they did well, linking up together and exciting.
So it was 0-0 at half time, and then second half attacking away from the big bang.
Yeah, to be honest, first half we like, as much as it was positive and that all those things did happen, we didn't actually really create a huge amount of like clear cut chances, but it looked like that we could,
Yeah. I mean, whereas I suppose in previous weeks we hoped we might, this felt like it looked like we could.
Yeah.
Which is a subtle shift, but
Yeah.
positive one. Second half happens. 0-0 half time, isn't it?
It is. They've got so Carlisle. They've just come into some money, haven't they?
Well, they've got some American. I've not really been following this, but yeah, they've got an American owner who's not yet. Well, he's certainly not thrown the cash yet, but he's starting to.
Well,
Is that
yeah,
right?
yeah. It was also a debut for what's his name, Luke Armstrong, who they signed from Harrogate.
Okay.
Been scoring quite a lot of goals for them. Sort of looks a bit like a YouTuber who would do kind of outdoors videos.
Like parkour.
No, like woodland stuff. How
right.
to survive overnight in the forest with only a penknife.
Yeah. Okay.
A bit like that.
Yeah. Right.
Blonde, beard, and ponytail.
Yeah,
Big.
It's not a regular
lad.
footballer's look, that is it?
You see it. You see it.
What's that fellow at Sheffield United who's always getting himself into scrapes?
Ollie McBurney.
Yeah.
Bit like that. He's a bit more of a kind of. I feel like he's a bit more. He's not really like that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. So second half comes. Start piling on the pressure.
Yeah. Do we? Yeah. It's just it's the same. We start the second half the same as similar way we start the first half. Reece Cole, a really good game, by the way. He's like making stuff happen. Actually, kind of. I was saying last week about how he's kind of. I think it was last week. Just forward playing minded. I think that's really important to have that in there. Whereas Trevitt, good as he was, and obviously scored 5 goals for us. He was a kind of forward-looking guy, but he would kind of defer more to the kind of shuttling it back. Whereas if the easy ball is there to go back to the centre backs, he kind of took it. Whereas Cole does look to kind of turn more, face goal, and kind of look for options.
I feel like Cole could be a such an important player for us over the next few years. Like, he feels like, I mean, who knows? Feels like we've got him at a really good time. He could stay for, I don't think he's going in the summer. I don't know how long his contract is.
No, he just signed a new contract, didn't he?
Of course he did, yeah, of course he did. So you feel like, oh, that's really positive.
Yeah,
It's kind of play, you not necessarily build a team around, but you can rely on to do certain jobs there.
Yeah, he's got deficiencies. I think
course.
He's not the best defensively. Sometimes I think he's a little bit like tetchy. I suppose kind of gets into disagreements with his own team. And defensively, I think maybe his positioning isn't perfect, but then that maybe you have to sacrifice that for the kind of forward-mindedness. But yeah, I think he's just kind of like, he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet, isn't he? Like, along with Diabate, I'd say.
Yeah, you feel like it. Diabate.
And Sinisalo, obviously.
Yeah, of course. And I suppose that's starting to be a spine, isn't it? Which is...
Yeah, that's important. I suppose you'd include Carroll in there as well. Do you mean that's a good sign, and a bit of consistency. If we can keep those players fit, and I think that's positive, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it will be important going forward. But we do need more from elsewhere. Then we scored a goal.
And it's a save, isn't it? And then it comes back to Reece Cole. Who?
Sonny Cox with the save, I think.
That's
It's
right.
Aitchison
cross.
Yeah.
Cox gets the ball same time as the keeper.
Yeah.
Reece Cole, it comes out to the edge of the box. Reece Cole legs it towards it, puts it away very nicely.
Can't miss. I'm about 5 minutes before that. He'd hit one so high and over the away stand that
He was just finding his distance and position, I guess.
Getting his eye in. Kept this one low though. So yeah.
So that was on 57. So just at the hour.
When he's been interviewed after the match, he was wearing a backwards baseball cap. Thoughts?
Well, you're always in danger of being like, "What's up, fellow kids?"
Yeah. I think he's enough of a kid that probably is allowed.
I feel like
whether he should or not, I think is a different question.
I feel like with the backwards baseball cap, it's been undone by Steve Buscemi's "What's up, fellow kids?"
Yeah. What Fred Durst?
Yeah, all of that, which means that even if you are a kid, you still look like you're someone who's trying to be a kid.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, I
get
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a case of there are people who can get away with it.
Tennis players.
Just some people just look good in stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Which leads me on to Alex Hartridge's haircut. I think he lives with Kyle Taylor.
Is that actually the case?
I don't know. I think that's the case. I think someone told me that.
Okay.
They're definitely mates.
Yeah.
And Kyle Taylor and him have both had the top knot.
Yeah.
Then Kyle Taylor's chopped his off into the kind of like, sort of bit like a bob.
Yeah.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
And now Hartridge has done the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's taken a picture of his mate into the hairdressers and gone, can you do this?
You wouldn't do that. You take your actual mate.
Well, not necessarily.
Make me like
He
him.
might be busy. Yeah, maybe he was there too. I can have the same as him, But I feel like Kyle Taylor kind of is someone who could wear a backwards hat and it would probably look good. And with that haircut, he looks good with it. Hartridge.
Less so.
He looks like his name's should be Sue,
Yeah.
Like someone's mum.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sue Hartridge is an absolute classic mum's name, by the way.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah.
Sue Hartridge has been round. She's dropped off 3 jars of jam.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a kind of jam called Hartridge's jam? Is that why I'm saying that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, don't worry about picking up the kids later. Sue Hartridge is going to pick them up.
Did you hear about Sue Hartridge? Her garden wall fell down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Oh, she drove into it.
That doesn't sound like Sue Hartridge to me.
Do you think?
You're not driving into walls.
I think she's got a sticky clutch.
She's a steady. Yeah, she might not be the kind of like proper,
And if this episode's not called
an
Sue Hartridge's sticky clutch, I don't know what
expert motorist.
Do you think she wears driving gloves?
No, I don't think she's an expert
Oh, you
motorist.
don't think she is?
Yeah, I was thinking more. You thought she was kind of a reckless, kind of like
No, I think she's
lunatic driving her car into the
No,
garden wall.
I think she's too busy looking at her shopping list,
Right.
and the jars come off her jam.
She's got a lot on. She'd do anything for anyone.
She would, bless her.
Yeah.
She's a pillar of the community, Sue Hartridge.
Yeah. She is very much organising the jumble sale.
She is St James Jumble Sale. Yeah. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for all you do, Sue. We asked her if she wanted to be nominated for the honours list, but she said no. She just likes to see the smiles on people's faces.
I want to put her forward for the Exeter Heroes Award.
Is that still a thing?
Is that a thing?
Let's start it.
Yeah.
Inaugural award, Sue Hartridge, a made-up person. Okay. Well, anyway, thanks, Sue, for making our city a better place.
Anyway, we're 1-0 up.
We're 1-0 up. That's about an hour mark, isn't it? And we have more chances. There's a few.
Sonny Cox, what's happened to him?
I mean, Coldwell will take full credit and say he needed the loan. I'm going to suggest just giving him better setup.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you went for Yeovil for like
10
3
games?
weeks, and
Yeah.
then like suddenly he's like, oh, that's enough. Played him against a bunch of, League Two. Are they League Two or Conference kind of like
Their conference, yeah.
hard nuts? And now he's,
I mean,
fully rounded centre forward.
maybe when he was coming in. What? So Nombe went right at the end of. When's the transfer?
Sonny Cox has played loads of first team football for us in League Two and in League One.
No, I'm just trying to remember the chronology of it.
Yeah, but what difference?
I don't know. I mean,
it can't be anything to do with the Yeovil loan.
No, that's what I mean. So was he just on a kind of downward ebb, or more likely was the tactics and the formation not really set up to encourage him to do what he needed to do?
Is it different to now?
Is Luke Harris the kind of player we needed all along?
Yeah, but I feel like Sonny Cox's form predates Luke Harris.
Yeah, you're right. It does. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not complaining. He looks really good. He really can hold his own against these kind of like League One centre backs.
Yeah. Causes them a right old handful.
And then he's getting into the good positions in the box, and he could have he could have had 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
And it looks like exactly what we need. Don't get any ideas, Gary. We still need to sign a centre forward, but
yeah,
it's good, isn't it?
Well, it's really good.
And the fact that he's one of our kind of great young hopes of the last couple of years, actually it feels like longer than that, doesn't it, that we've been hearing the name Sonny Cox.
18, 19.
I think he's 19, but we've been hearing about him since he's about 15.
Yeah.
Been in and around the first team since he's about 15,
Yeah.
and that's when the rumours about Bayern Munich and
That's right.
Man United and all that were going on.
And it kind of was. Is he the same age as Cresceni, who of course did go to those places?
Yeah.
So
I guess so. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
No. He was definitely touted as the next big thing. Anyway, thank goodness it's working. Still need to buy some strikers, Gary.
Yeah, definitely.
I know they're now going to be saying well, we've got one in.
I always blame it on Gary Caldwell, aren't we? And while he does deserve his fair share of the blame. What about Marcus Flitcroft?
Yeah,
he's the one doing it all.
Head of recruitment.
Yeah, but also he's director of football as well now.
Right.
They just announced that at the AGM that I went to.
Yeah. I mean, of course, what am I saying? Director of football means something different in every different club. Like, you always hear that, don't you? The director of football at Manchester United is different to the director of football at Manchester City, is different to the director at Arsenal.
Okay.
So there's no set, this is what a director of football does. So I think that fella at Norwich they always talk about, who's kind of high achieving director of football, he really oversees and line manages the manager and then supports the manager to make stuff happen. But I think other places, director of football is the person who brings in all the signings.
Okay.
So I don't know what Marcus does, but yeah, you're definitely right. Something, it's not just Gary, obviously.
Yeah.
We've got to have a transfer plan outside of Gary Caldwell. We nearly sacked him, or certainly felt like we might.
Yeah.
Anyway, who are we signing?
We're not on to that. We're not on to that. We're still talking about the match. This is all over the shop.
Sorry, it's cold.
This is shocking, this episode.
You're not enjoying it?
I am, but I just think it feels a mess.
Oh, sorry. Don't know why I'm apologising.
I'm just as
We're
much
equally culpable. This is a democracy, listeners.
So we're 2-0 up. Then we have to make
we haven't even talked about the second goal yet.
Haven't we?
No.
Yeah, we have. Sonny Cox knocked one in.
Sonny Cox knocked one in. Carry on. 2-0 up.
Yeah. Then we have to make a load of changes. Well, we make a load of changes. Not really sure why Cox comes off.
He keeps doing that.
He can play, can't he? He can do the whole game.
He's not arthritic, is he? He's not Yannick.
Well, I mean, bear in mind that we are hopefully bringing in some more strikers. It's not like we really need to ration Sonny Cox. Just play him.
Yeah, and we've
Anyway,
got a game a week, aren't we, at the minute?
We do
anyway.
bring him off for Wildschut.
Yes.
And Niskanen comes on for Zach Jules.
By the way, congratulations to Zach Jules. Just got engaged to his girlfriend.
Has he?
I'm assuming it's because he scored that absolute wonder goal last.
That'll do it.
That'll do
Congratulations, Zach.
She thought that I'd like a piece of that action.
Yeah. I mean, Zach Jules is an incredibly handsome man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one snapped him up already.
Well, presumably he was, in a relationship with his girlfriend. I don't think they've got together and engaged on the same day.
No, but even so, I'm surprised,
She has snapped him.
So Yannick comes on.
Yeah.
It's a shame in it about Yannick Wiltshire. I think you can obviously tell from watching him that at one point he was...
Hell of a player.
Yeah. I just don't think there's enough there anymore. So you can still see the flashes of it, so it gets your hopes up a bit, and you think, oh yeah. And I'm not saying he isn't capable of doing something for us. He has scored that goal at Stevenage, and
caused a bit of chaos sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I think we have to do better than. We have to get in better than him, and kind of someone who can do a lot more than he does. You know. I get why he was brought in. It was very last minute. The transfer window was over. It was better than nothing.
Well, yeah, significantly better than nothing.
Yeah. But now the transfer window's open again. We should be thinking we need to improve on this area.
I'd keep him.
I think I'd keep him.
Till May.
Budget
allowing, of course. But I mean, he'd probably take I don't know. I'm speaking on his behalf, but it seems like we'd at least be worth saying to him, like, well, can we just pay you kind of week on week, or will you do another month for us or whatever?
Casual labour.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think there's enough there to at least he's useful. He's certainly useful for 10 minutes at the end of a game like Carlisle where we're ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was that useful. I thought he came on too early.
Well, that's true.
Because when those changes were brought in, right, and Kyle Taylor comes on as well, and James Scott and people like this, and then I think suddenly we just look like the team that we were, like, a couple of months ago.
Oh, there's a gap, isn't there, between the starting 11.
This looks terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and and then they nearly scored.
Yeah.
Their new striker Luke Harris hit the post when he really should have scored.
Not
and
Luke
then
Harris, but yeah, I know you mean.
Whatever he's called, Luke Armstrong.
Yeah.
And then they nearly and then they did score.
Yeah. 88 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean it was a good strike, cleared from a corner, and then he just kind of hits it on the first time low and through a crowd and into the in at the near post. But we didn't need to. I'd feel better about it if we hadn't conceded. We obviously still won the game. There was 9 minutes of added on time for some reason, but we held on. We kind of rode that out perfectly.
Now, obviously, that's really helpful 3 points.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons.
And 7 out of 9 for the last 3 home games. I know there's a loss at Reading in around there, but away. But
Well, I think I worked it. Let me look at my numbers. We're not far off needing a point a game. We need slightly more.
Yeah, it is something like it's just over a point a game.
Just over a point a game.
If we're thinking we need like
50.
Yeah, which
might be more than enough.
Yeah, could well be. Yeah.
Given the low quality of our rivals, the factor is Wigan are in 18th on 27 points, but actually they were deducted 8 points, so they're a better team than their league position suggests, which suggests they'll also continue to move up the league. And then Reading, directly below us, have been deducted 4, so they're a better team. So if it wasn't for deductions, we would still be in the relegation zone. And our goal difference is second worst in the league, I believe. Yeah, second worst in the league. So we're going to have to start... Like, it's annoying that, that could have been a 2-0 or a 3-0, which certainly helps. And instead it's only a +1 to help our goal average.
Yeah.
Because it may well come down to that. It's going to be close enough.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Shall I give you the league table then?
Not all of it, but give me some.
Bottom, 24th, Fleetwood. They've got 18 points. They've played 25. Carlisle, 23rd. They've played 26. They got 20. And then Reading and Cheltenham in 21st and 22nd have both played 25 and got 23 points. Exeter City, just outside the relegation zone, played 25, got 26 points. So we're 3 points ahead of the relegation zone with a significantly worse goal difference. And then above us...
Everyone's kind of played different amounts of games
That's
as
true
well,
as well,
right?
yeah. And then above us, Cambridge played a game less than us, and Wigan have played the same as us. They're both on 27 points, 1 point ahead. I mean, we string a few wins together, and actually, 13th place, they're only 4 points ahead of us. So 7 places above us, 2 wins would probably get us a good way up.
Yes.
So, we can be optimistic about what's achievable, I think. If we go back 2 weeks, I felt no optimism about anything being achievable.
No, definitely not. No, there's definitely signs of... There's definitely cause for optimism, isn't there,
Yeah.
I think we need to see more before anyone really starts kind of holding their hands up and apologising,
Oh, no, absolutely not.
But it's something. It's something. It's better than the absolute dirge that we were watching for the last 2 or 3 months.
Absolutely.
And, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll come back in a minute and we're going to talk about potential future signings and all that. Cheers. Welcome back. Remember, you can tell us, have you seen a potential future signing hanging out at the Beefeater on Topsham Road? Have you seen agents circling the Western Way Exbridges roundabout with signings in the back of the car?
Have you seen Sue Hartridge helping out with the brownies
Yeah.
in your local village?
Yeah, all very valid questions. I'm more interested in Sue, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
So there's this promise of cash on the table. We haven't actually spent any cash yet.
There is
got a loan
the promise
player
of
in.
unprecedented cash.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Nicholas, with your
Saint Nick with his deep pockets.
I saw him down by the river walking his dog.
What's he doing? Walking dogs when he should be out signing players?
That's what I shouted through my megaphone, actually.
Yeah,
I'd already
right.
daubed it on the cycle path.
Yeah.
And then, fortunately enough, I got close enough for him to bellow through my megaphone.
There's no time for that when you should be out there getting shit done, Nick.
We've lost Trevitt, injured.
Yeah, he's
so
gone back
to Brentford.
for good.
I mean, the injury seems like it would have basically finished his season anyway, so that's not a recalling. That's just there's no point now. We've got to sort out his injury.
Yeah.
So that's a shame, because he was useful for us at certain points.
He was.
He'll be a good player, I'd imagine.
He's a very kind of like when we were good back at the beginning of the when we were the beginning of the season.
Halcyon days.
He was a big part of that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think on the whole, he shouldn't really have to bear much of the responsibility for our downturn in form. Like I said, he's a young player, kind of here to kind of develop, and actually, I think overall he was really good for us, and I think he'll do well. And it's a shame that it's cut short, and annoyingly, it kind of cancels out the Luke Harris transfer, doesn't it?
It does.
It just puts us. We're kind of back to where we started. Where it's not really. He's not really added to. I mean,
well, we've lost
like
Musway.
I said, probably plays slightly slightly further forward than Trevitt, but ultimately, kind of profile-wise, he's the same.
Yeah.
We haven't lost Musway. Still plays for us.
Well, officially, hasn't he gone back?
No. No.
What? So
We're
we're still paying his wages?
We've still nothing has been announced re Musway.
Okay. Well, anyway, he's not featuring currently, is he?
No.
So are we going to see some signings? We're now on the 8th, 9th of January?
Are we? That's a third of the way through the month, nearly.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
It's gone from Gary saying, we'll have 2 in, to saying...
It's really hard to sign players.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. We know that.
I mean...
We'll get some in, I'm sure, but I just can't help feeling after the summer transfer window that we're going to end up a bit deflated.
We're definitely going to end up deflated.
Like a bit like, oh, we needed more there, didn't we? Like this is going to have to do now. And we've had this transfer window in a kind of like back of our minds since, it's what some people have been hanging the not sacking of the manager on.
Yeah.
It's what we've been kind of putting our kind of like lack of goals,
Yeah.
We've always kind of like, but when we get to January, we get this. And great start. We got Harris in, but like he was someone that was already arranged anyway.
Yeah. And he's
Paperwork
alone.
didn't get done.
Yeah.
He's alone. He's young. He's unproven.
Yeah.
And like I said, Trevor's gone back, so he's basically only just replaced him. So we haven't added to the squad in terms of numbers at all.
And like you said, the drop-off between Saturday starting 11, for example, and who else might fill in. I know there's some...
Yeah, but also, like I said about Trevor, is like, they can't... A young lone player isn't necessarily going to... I know Stansfield's a bit different. Maybe they can. Maybe they can really affect the season, but...
They can,
but it's a big ask.
It's
isn't
the
it?
jeopardy as well, isn't it? And also the like,
and they might not. And there's no suggestion. There's no kind of realistic suggestion that they should. What you need is, but we should be getting players in who can do that. As in, if you sign a striker who you think like this guy will get us 10 goals.
Yeah.
I know that's going to be harder to do now. Should have done it in the summer. But
like our process essentially relies upon academy players who come through and are either good enough for us to do well for us and then we sell them, too good for us, in which case we get money for them without them ever really playing for us, or maybe not quite good enough to break into the first team but still worth some money when we move them on. So we've had years of that, and then we have the players we take a chance on, Nombe, Giovanni, etc., 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 Reece Cole, Harper, some of whom will work out for us and do really well, and will inevitably not sign the next contract and leave for nothing. Some of whom who will do well for us and will be sold for money, Nombe. Some of whom won't work out. But that's the system. Loan players give you none of that stuff. They may perform enough in the year to have been valid.
Yeah.
But our club really relies upon, in a way that perhaps lots of other clubs don't rely upon, being able to sell some of these good players.
Also, I don't remember us really being this kind of short-termist in the past.
That's right, it's short-termism.
I know needs must and stuff, but and now it's become kind of like the only priority is to like not get relegated. But really, that was the same last season. Really, that was what we always expected for League One. We've got to plan a bit. I mean, once you haven't planned, it's too late to start saying you need to plan, isn't it? But yeah. Like we're going to end up with like in the summer, we might say we stay up in the summer. But what's the squad looking like? Yeah. There's no one left.
And you remember the COVID season where Matt Taylor had to play all the youngsters?
Yeah.
And they had the opportunity to thrive and grow. And obviously, lots of them have gone on to bigger clubs than ours. Colwell's not playing the youngsters. And I know it needed to happen with Matt Taylor. But my other concern is we're getting in loanees, we're not using our academy players, so they're just strolling away. And we know of several that have done that from the academy without going into any kind of contract arrangement. And therefore, they're also not improving. So Pedro Borges might be an excellent player. Is Gary going to play him? Because he seems like...
Well, he recalled him from that loan.
Yeah.
He was at Dorchester or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's not... I was actually expecting him to come on at the weekend, and he didn't. We were 2-0 up. I'd have thought that would have been the time to bring him on. Like Luke Harris, look, it was his first game. He ended up playing the whole game. I would have thought, stick him on, stick Pedro on. Like get him some minutes. He's been playing for Dorchester presumably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So then you're exactly right. When we come to the summer, and if it's true about Harry Kite's wanted by Bristol Rovers, Alex Hartridge is wanted by Bristol Rovers.
Well, let's talk about that. Are these fellas going? There's more rumours about players going than there is about them coming in. So Harry Kite to Bristol Rovers is a big one that people are talking about.
Well,
who knows?
Matt Taylor used him well.
Matt Taylor really liked him, didn't he? When he was fit, there was quite a lot of time that Kite was out while Taylor was manager, but when he was there, he really did like playing him.
Yeah.
He hasn't had consistent run as a kind of first team regular under Caldwell.
And he's been playing him in strange positions, hasn't he?
Yeah, although Matt Taylor did play him at right back
That's true.
on occasion, but like maybe that's I don't really know enough about Bristol Rovers team to know whether he's exactly what they need or not, but maybe he is. But there's talk about that, and then before Saturday's game, he was a late withdrawal. Apparently a training ground knock, but obviously everyone just thought like, oh, he's off then, and he's like.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know. But there's rumours about him going. Yeah, there's the vague ones about Hartridge as well.
Well, Taylor also used Hartridge a lot, didn't he?
Wicked whispers.
Yeah.
And
But the
other one is Will Aimson to Wrexham.
Bizarre, that one. I mean, that is kind of what Wrexham do.
Yeah.
Knock up a league. So they're League 2, aren't they? Are they likely to go up this year?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's as bad. Oh no, I'm convinced he's not as bad as some people think he is, and I think there have been points this season where he's been excellent.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think there's a few. I don't massively rate him, but I think he's a solid centre back, and I think he does some things really well. I think he's been massively hampered reputation-wise by being given that captaincy, which was as everyone will. I've already said this on the podcast, but everyone will go on about how it's just completely arbitrary, the captaincy. People take it way too seriously. It's like, well, in that case, why bother? Because right in the middle of the season, coming in, taking the armband off someone that everyone really liked and giving it to this new guy, who used to play for Plymouth, by the way, as well, giving it to him, and it just looks bad. So now, and then we're at the point now where downturn of form, he becomes a bit of a scapegoat, to be honest, even though sometimes he has been a bit poor and sometimes he doesn't look like he's. That might be his personality. He's not particularly. He's not like a kind of Sweeney or a Sinisalo that's kind of really, openly kind of charismatic out there. But I just think it hasn't served him well. I think it was bad PR and bad sort of man management by Caldwell there, and so he's not having the best time with the supporters.
No,
he's not been that good. When he's been playing, maybe, but I don't think that means he's a bad player. I think League 2, he'd probably be really good.
I mean, Wrexham presumably just want to get over the line.
Yeah, I don't know how Wrexham play either. Do you mean
No.
Like in a different system, like if he's just like
is it Phil Parkinson the manager there?
Don't know,
because he was Bolton, wasn't he? But I don't think they would have crossed over.
If they could just kind of if they just want someone who's going to be a kind of a no nonsense centre back. Then that might be really good.
Yeah.
Caldwell obviously asks a bit more, doesn't he?
But obviously, if he goes,
we can't afford to lose anyone.
Well, the squad's very thin.
Yeah, there's already kind of space. There's already people in the squad where you think we should get rid of it. We should get these people off the wage bill.
Yeah.
Musquay, Caleb Watts, potentially. People like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Phil Parkinson, the manager there. I think they probably crossed over at Bolton.
Right, maybe. Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So
yeah,
no,
but no whispers of anything signings wise. By which I mean purchasing someone.
No.
And like we always said, that's going to be really hard.
And sometimes, I mean, the usual kind of people, you do usually kind of get people. By the time someone is eventually signed, they've normally been mentioned by somebody online. Sometimes there's plenty of kind of completely wrong ones out there as well. But
you get 20 names and one or two come good, don't they?
Yeah, but I've not seen anything, and I'm chronically online.
Deary me. I mean, we could just be. I'd imagine we'll be here in 2 weeks' time, last week of January.
Oh, I hope not. But it wouldn't be
I mean,
at all
look,
surprised.
this is the market we're working in. Wrexham's striker is Stephen Fletcher.
We have made a signing only 43 minutes ago. We are proud to have signed Pledge Ball's Sustainable Travel Charter. So we've signed that to tackle football's carbon footprint.
Right. I mean, you want to talk to your manager who's quick on the accelerator pedal, I'd imagine, to start with.
Yeah. Maybe get him an electric car when he's allowed to drive again.
Can Jonathan from Thrifty come and do an aggressive handshake to Gary, giving him a...
I'd like to see a fight between Jonathan from Thrifty and Gary Caldwell.
Yeah, so would I.
Because Jonathan doesn't look hard, but he has got that handshake, hasn't he, in his back pocket?
You crush Coldwell. Wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Sue
You
Perkins.
underestimate him.
Sue Perkins at the back ready to get a kick in when Jonathan's on the ground, but it never happens.
Yeah.
Sue Hartridge is there trying to stop it.
She would be trying to stop it.
Come on, boys.
Yeah.
What would your mother say?
Yeah.
Etc. Yeah. Always the voice of reason, isn't she, Sue?
Giving them a right bollocking in front of everyone. Embarrassing them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she would. But not in. She wouldn't be. She wouldn't.
You need
shout.
that when you. Sue Hartridge is a street pastor. There's no doubt in my mind. She's a street pastor.
Bless her.
Handing out flip flops and bottles of water on
Yeah.
a night out.
to football managers who can't find their way home.
Yeah.
It's only up here, Gary. Here we are, Gary. Out again, are we?
Right. So
Right.
that's the transfer.
That's everything.
Non-news.
No, it's not. It's Blackpool on Saturday, away at Bloomfield.
Yep, they're doing quite well, aren't they, Blackpool?
Doing quite well, eighth, I think.
In the league.
Did they win in the FA Cup this weekend as well?
Did they?
I think they did. This is the kind of...
What's the situation up at Blackpool that I like at the minute?
Oh, much better. Much improved. The Oystons are gone.
Oh, yeah. Is that the rapist?
That was... If we all remember the song from Wembley, that was indeed him.
Yeah, they're doing okay. They drew with Nottingham Forest.
That's right.
They beat Lincoln.
Because they got relegated from the Championship last year, didn't they?
Yeah, did they? Blackpool.
Yeah.
And they got beat off Port Vale and Burton, but then before that they'd beaten Bristol Rovers. So they're a little up and down.
So Critchley's the manager. Remember him?
Critchley.
Neil Critchley.
Recognise the name.
Famously, when Liverpool went and were in the Club World Cup, Klopp left him behind to run.
Oh, right, okay.
And then he was at Blackpool for a long time, 3 or 4 years, and then had a 6-month sabbatical at QPR and then came straight back to Blackpool.
Right, okay.
So he's Blackpool. I think he was involved in their movement up the league, got relegated not on his watch, and then's gone back.
Right. What we need is do you know what? I think we are at least in a position where we can. I mean, if we lose this match now,
yeah,
unless we get absolutely battered, it wouldn't be as bad as it had as all the losses before. You know,
there's something in the bank, isn't there?
I think if a good performance and a narrow defeat or something, and we score, then I obviously I won't be pleased with that, but it'll be like, okay, well, we don't necessarily need to be beating Blackpool away.
Yeah.
Because
then there's a couple of...
But I would absolutely bite your hand off for a score draw.
The week after is Cambridge at home.
Yeah.
Which...
That's one we should...
That's one we should win.
Yeah.
So you get the win.
So what I want is a positive performance and hopefully, result, but at least positive performance and to build, and then a win at Cambridge at home to Cambridge the week after.
Yeah, because then if we're looking closer to 30 points than we are to 20, start to feel like it's doable, won't we?
Yes.
My concern is, I think if this was last season, we'd already be down. My concern is everyone around us who has been dreadful is picking up a bit.
Yeah. I mean, not so much Carlisle, I suppose, because we beat them. Fleetwood.
Those two. Reading and
too.
Cheltenham have picked up.
Reading may well still get more points deducted. Cheltenham beat Portsmouth. So, yeah, it's a long way to go. And that counts both for us and against us, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you get a signing in this week. And you get a point at Blackpool.
I think for the kind of for the morale of the supporters and to keep this kind of little bit of momentum that we started going, we've got to get someone else in before this game at the weekend. It might not make or break anything. It might make no difference to that game itself. But I just think for kind of for the goodwill and for the mindset, that would be really positive to get another signing in before that match.
Let's see. Keep your notifications on, everyone.
Yeah.
Keep your CFAX updated. Keep calling Club Call. Is that what it's called? Remember that?
Club Call, yeah.
Club Call. Keep ringing them.
Keep wasting your parents' money by ringing up that thing, which cost about £2.50 a minute, which in those days money was,
loads.
A lot
Poor
more.
old man.
Like when I would do a similar thing, which was ringing up computer game hotlines to get
cheat codes,
tips or like how to get past this bit on Monkey Island on the PC.
Good.
You know?
Yeah.
And it would cost you so much money because for a start they go like, if you'd like tips on this game, press 1 now. You mean like
Yeah.
deliberately, and then the phone bill comes in at the end of the month and your dad goes mental.
Your poor old mum, she's been out all night as a street pastor. She's got to deliver her jam. She just knocked down your garden wall.
Yeah.
And
Their
then
energy bills have just gone through the roof.
And your phone bill's 30 quid more than it should be.
Yeah, because you've been ringing 0891 50 50 50.
Yeah.
If you know what that number is.
What is that number?
Do you remember that one? 0891 50 50 50. A sort of sexy chat.
Sexy chat.
It would be like an
But
advert would be on like late at night on Channel 4.
Right.
I don't remember it because I memorised it to call them up, by the way.
Well, good.
I was strictly on Monkey Island tips, but I just remember because it was catchy.
Strictly on Monkey Island, what?
Mm.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Good game.
Good game. I don't think I've ever played it.
Yeah. Well, your loss.
Fair enough. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.